YouTube. So yeah, okay, I was gonna do this because I said I was. So yeah, well, last night when I saw the video, it was last night, one Mr. BearHugger29, whose video I'll put in the description that inspired the topic for this video, was not too happy about people's comparison or lack of comparison between between Gen 7 and Gen 8 as far as console go, and saying how they are exactly the same or something like that. And no, they're not exactly the same. I mean, there's just so much evidence that 8th gen is so much worse. It's just fucking terrible at this point. It's bad, Bear. It's bad. Now, I'm not going to say you're entirely wrong, because yes, we've had the problem of all the stuff we're having now with the glitches in games and the DLC practices and the season passes. Yes, that all started in 7th gen. Well, actually, no, it started with PC quite some time ago, but it finally came to consoles in the worst possible way, by the way. This is not a shot at PC. I'm just saying the way they did it, the way they're doing it on the consoles, is just fucking terrible. Okay, it's awful. It is god awful about what they are doing here. But the 7th gen did not actually start out that bad. I mean, there's some pretty decent games that came out in the first couple of years that were like completely awesome, full-on games that didn't do all the shit that they decided to do later on, and even more so when we got to the 8th generation of consoles. I mean, I'm looking at my, I look at my collection of Wii and PS3 games, and I look at systems that took a chance with games. Okay, there were ideas out there, and some were hit, some were missed. Not gonna lie, like there's some games on that shelf that I absolutely love that the rest of the world said, fuck that, you know, that's terrible, that's bullshit or something like that. But I thought they were fun games, and I liked them. We had games that took chances, you know, and stuff like that. I thought that was great that they did that. As far as the glitches go, glitches have always been in video games. That's not going to go away anytime soon. There will always be glitches. It's just that, like, some are a little more blatant than others. Like, if you really want to find, you can find a glitch in any game. If you really look hard enough, you can just, like, jump through walls and skip entire spans of the game if you do it right. I mean, if you've ever seen a speed run or whatsoever, you would see that, like, people would expose these glitches all the time to help finish the game faster and stuff like that when they do speed runs. That's the thing they do. But to sit here and say that it's exactly the same as, like, no, I'm sorry, but it's getting worse. I mean, basically, yes, they started the season passes, but they weren't that bad. They're like $15, $20 at the most, you know, no big deal. And most of it, like 90% of the time, was, you know, stuff they plan on adding later, so you could either, like, buy it as it comes out or pre-buy it in some cases. And, like, the stuff that would come out would be like maps, and it was nothing really you needed to enjoy the game as a whole, and that still kind of holds true the way things are now. But the thing about the season pass now is, if you notice that they're $40 or $50, that is basically game companies circumventing the fact that they wanted to charge us $100 per game this generation. But, you know, we said no, don't do that. We raged. So they made it look like they listened to us, when in reality they just found a way to fuck us over even more. When they started taking out they either started taking out parts of the game to put in later, or they put it behind a paywall. That they put it behind a paywall, you know, and it's there. And if you buy the season pass, it'll immediately come. It'll be the day one DLC, when in fact it's just stuff they already have on the disc that you have to unlock later on. So that started becoming a little bit more prominent once the 7th generation started coming to a close. And now that we're in the 8th generation, I say, well, 7th generation coming to a close, and with 8th generation, it's just out and out blatant. They're not even trying to hide the fact anymore. I mean, like, there's, like, at least a bunch of different things, like, hidden on games now that, oh, pre-order here and get this, or pre-order here and get this. Like, there's, like, 5 different pre-order bonuses, and all that shit is stuff that's already on the fucking disc. That's, you know, it's already on the disc, and they're hiding behind a paywall. And yeah, you'll get it if you pre-order here, but if you want the rest of it, you're gonna have to like either spend the money or get the season pass or whatever. Now, yes, Capcom did in fact do that bullshit with Street Fighter X Tekken, where it found out that they actually had all the hidden characters. I don't want to say hidden characters. No, they're hidden characters. But all the DLC characters are already on the disc. Now, yes, when Street Fighter 4, the original one, came out, they had hidden characters. And you got those hidden characters by, guess what? Playing the game. Now, they sit there and do the whole, oh, well, yeah, they put them behind a paywall or some shit like that. Maybe they add them on, I don't know. But as far as when Street Fighter 4 came out, it was more or less a complete game. I'm not going to lie. Yes, they have the costumes you could buy, but was that really necessary towards the game? No. They're starting to take out things that may or may not be necessary for the game, at least story-wise, okay? Then you got this whole thing with the whole microtransactions, which is getting worse. Like, you know, it's like, okay, you could either, when you play online, you could either do one of two things. You could either, A, play the game normally and earn your shit the right way that way, or you can just plunk down extra money and get all the shit that everybody else already worked for because, hell, why the fuck not? But anyway, here's the reason why, there's a very good reason why the 8th generation is far more worse than the 7th generation. It's because, quite frankly, in 7th generation, they tried. In this one, they're not doing shit. They're not even fucking trying. Okay? They're so desperately trying to make these, like, PCs. They are watered down PCs. They're not consoles anymore. You see what I'm saying? They're watered down wannabe PCs where they're trying to sell you more of the features than the actual games. Oh, look at this Netflix. Look at this. Look at that. Oh, you got the NFL this. You can get this. You can get that. Oh, you can get this. But they're really downplaying the games. And a lot of the games we're getting are just the same fucking games we got last gen. The remasters. Which basically, if you think of, you know what the remaster is? Do you know what a remaster is, ladies and gentlemen? A remaster is pretty much the PC version. Like, if you got this game on PC, that's what you can get. But now you can get on this thing here. And I know you said that... like, I know you were talking to a... I know there's a certain group of people you were talking to when you said that, oh... like, nobody remembers, like, 7th gen or some shit like that. I know, because they didn't play games and stuff like that. So I know there's a certain group of people you're talking to, and I'm more or less confident I was not a part of that group you're mentioning. But the fact that you sit there and say, well, I'm the only one who remembers, I'm the only one who remembers any of this. Come on, dude. Seriously, you're taking the sole credit for that? Really? Just... Oh, I understand. I understand. You were in a fit of anger. You know, I understand you were kind of upset about the video, and I see where you're coming from with that, so it makes sense. So yes, to be angry, but say you're like the sole YouTuber who plays games and remembered all the shit that happened in 7th gen, and like, really? Just, really? What really? I don't know. Just, does that look like, oh, let me get that thing out of the way. I got the shit in the way. I mean, seriously? Does this look like you're only motherfucker playing games last generation? Something like that? Yes, people, I realize that it's not the greatest game collection out there. There are people who have like entire walls of games and stuff like that. And that's fine, because the reason with those people is they buy any game because they want to collect it. Me, I'm an idiot. I just buy the games that I have interest in, and I'm not going to buy every game for the sake of, you know, owning the game so I can be part of the cool group. Oh yeah, I got the latest Call of Duty because fuck, everybody else got it too. No, that's not how I do things. So yes, as you can see, my game collection is far more limited than other people, but you know, I have a very good reason to do so. Because like I said, I just like to buy the games I'm interested in, and I'm not collecting all of them just for the fuck of it, so I can say, look at all these games I have. Yeah. I'm sure there's some people who like to play every game. They play every game because they're really, really interested in the game. I'm just not that guy. But anyway, kind of got off topic here. What the hell was I talking about? I don't even fucking remember. So yes, like I was saying, it's like they put effort into gaming last gen. Now it's just like they sit there and they're sitting there like, well, we need x86 architecture. We need easy to develop for hardware so we can do better with the game, so we can get them out faster, and there can be less problems with it. And they didn't even fucking do that right, like at all. I mean, like Xbox and PS4, they complied. You know, the people complaining the PS3 was too damn hard to develop for. Oh, we can't do it. It's too hard. Oh my god, we have to work. Ah, fuck. And you know, and what? The Last Guardian got delayed like how many times now on the PS4? Like 55 fucking times. When it should have been the easiest, it should have been really easy, just drop it on the system, because that's what they were saying. Oh, the reason why we need this easier but more powerful hardware is because when we make the game on our development computers, we can just drop it on the new systems with no problems whatsoever. And yet still, there are glitches. Last generation, they had a fucking excuse, all right? I will get they had an excuse, okay? That, you know, they had to they had to change it from like the fucking computer hardware to the Xbox hardware to the Xbox 360 hardware to the PS3 hardware, and even in some cases the Nintendo Wii or the Nintendo Wii U hardware. You know, they had to split it. But now it's like that was taken away. I mean, they made it easier for them so they didn't have to have these problems. So there wouldn't have to be glitches. So there wouldn't have to be delays. That they can just work on this shit, get it right, drop it on the system at the projected time that they had, and they still fucked it up. And you're trying to tell me that it's better now when they made it easier for them? Like, piss fucking easy for these developers to make games for the system so they don't have to worry about any type of real conversions because the hardware on consoles is different from the development computers? Really? You're gonna sit here and tell me that that's the same? It got worse. It got worse. I'm sorry. This is fucking terrible. The 8th gen, let's face it, it's the generation of remasters. Hell, they're even remastering the consoles at this point. These are remastered consoles, people. That's what it is. Don't tell me otherwise. Right? Yes, I realize that in the past there have been different iterations of consoles. You know, the PS3 went through a different couple. But at the end of the day, it was more or less the same console. These are entirely different consoles, and that's what it is. But yeah, so there's no reason for them to have the problems they're having now, as far as glitches go, right? Because that shouldn't be a problem. They work out the bugs in their initial system, and when that's done, they just move it over to their thing, real easy like, and there shouldn't be any problems after they fix it. But yet still, for some fucking reason, that is still going on. The season passes are getting worse. They're getting way too expensive. They started out like I said, started out like $15, $20, which is still ridiculous if you think about it. But not $40 or $50 for these fucking things. What the fuck is so special about these goddamn season passes that they gotta be like the same price as the fucking game you just bought? Can somebody explain that to me? What the point of that is? Really? Really? Why are we doing this thing? Like, the glitches are still there. The microtransactions are getting worse. They're adding more and more and more. It's getting worse, guys. It's getting worse. It's not getting any better for some reason. Like we thought it would. You know what the real problem is, Harold? We all knew. We all fucking knew this was going to happen. We saw this coming. Like, this was right in front of our faces when the... Sorry, I couldn't help it. This was right in front of our faces at the end of the 7th gen, and we knew this was coming, and it happened anyway. Like, we bought into it anyway. I don't know, maybe we were stupidly optimistic and thought, it's not going to be that bad. It'll be fine. Maybe we're just over-exaggerating. No, we weren't. We just weren't. We were right, and now we're kicking ourselves because we didn't listen to ourselves. I'm sure some people out there listen to themselves, and they're like, you're a fucking idiot. You didn't listen to yourself. I did, and I'm not pissed. But you're still pissed, and I kind of get that. But no, man, the generations are not the same. They're not even trying this gen. They're just shoving more remasters down our throat, trying to resell us the games that we already bought the first time. You know, they're sitting there like, oh, look at the remaster. And they're sitting there trying to tell us that, oh, they promised 1080p, 6 frames per second, and they couldn't, and they didn't deliver. And now they're making these new consoles which are supposed to do the same thing, and they're still not going to deliver. It's like, really? They're just lying to our faces so much now than they were last time. Before, they just, you know, there were problems. Yes, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, like I said, there were glitches. Yes, there was DLC. There was season passes. I'm not saying none of that didn't happen, because eventually it did. but it's getting worse as the year goes on. And the deeper we get into this generation, the more it's coming, the more it's getting worse. So it's just getting worse. It's getting bad. And like, I'm sorry, but one last thing I want to add is saying like, well, see, it was like this last generation, so there. That's not a good excuse. That's not an excuse at all. There's no reason for that. All right, they should have learned how not to do that by now. You know, it should have been better. That's like saying, hey, yeah, Billy back there might smoke crack, but at least he's not Jimmy smoking meth. It's a lame comparison. You can't say just because it was like that last gen that's the excuse why it should be that way this gen. No.